Yesterday, after the courts termed the Building Bridges initiative as unconstitutional at the Supreme Court, Kapseret MP Oscar Sudi thronged the Eldoret town in celebration, and they addressed a series of rallies. I was following that through his Facebook page, and there is something that he said there that captured my attention. And just to know that it was something that he had planned to speak about, the live stream was 1 hour, but after it, they went and edited a 2-minute excerpt from all that video and posted that bit in his Facebook page. What Oscar Sudi was talking about, Oscar Sudi addressed the issue of the Kiamba church. And he was saying that Murathe should not talk about the issue of the Kiamba church because it was done and it was buried. Just the same way BBA was buried, even the issue of the Kiamba church was buried by both Uhuru and Ruto coming together. So that was supposed to be an BBI affair. Why do you think that the William Ruto team, or rather Oscar Sudi, was sent to address the issue of the Kiamba? Very interesting, and that makes me remember an advert that appeared in, I think it was Nation or Standard, of the Kenya Assemblies of God, rebuilding of the Kiamba church, the KG church in Eldoret. The Kiamba church is one that is at the center of the 2007 post-election violence because that's where 35 people, women and children, were burnt, were killed there when the church was set ablaze. This is a conversation this is a topic that is normally very contentious, and you will realize that Uhuru, Raila, and Ruto tries to steer clear of this issue of Kiamba. So the truth of the matter, as we talk now, the Kiamba church, the foundation in Kiamba church is being dug, and I think the foundation is going on. That is so far what's going on. So I want us to look at that advert a bit. We are going to look at it, but just before that, there was also a leaked audio of Raphael Tuju with the former Kiambu Senator aspirant John Nyanja, who believed that he was rigged out of the nominations by William Ruto in 2017. And in that audio that leaked last year, I think somewhere May, Tuju and George Nyanja, who is an architect, were trying to hatch a deal. And they were saying that because Deputy President has disobeyed President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is his boss, they now want to hatch a plan to build a monument in that land in Kiamba. And according to them, that will be a political tool. In fact, they wanted to that will fix deputy president and see whether he's also going to build. He's also going to be part of that project. According to Tuju and what George Nyanja were talking, and of course I want to play for you a bit, just a snippet of that audio. That audio was a 9-minute audio, but I'll play you as a portion of it here. That it will be, they will see how William Ruto will behave on that issue.
Yes. Yes. Sasa wanasiasa, vigongo wa siasa wametoka. Hata hiyo yako ni mzuri sana. Nimpatie muda. Akikosa mimi nitaenda kujenga. Yeah. I should tell the media that myself. Akikosa nampatia miezi 6. akikosa miezi 6,
Yes.
so he should not say he's in hata akitaka mwaka because hata jenga
In fact, tunaweza kuchanga muende mweke foundation huko, tunataka kuja malize.
That was last year. Now, on 25th, because this advert appeared, I think, on 25th, it was saying that the Kiamba, there was this advert now by the church asking the public to contribute to building that church. So this is what was there. The Kiamba KG church was set fire by raiders, killing 35 people, including women and children, hiding inside during the 2008 post-election violence. It has remained a monument of shame and a bitter reminder of the extremes of politically instigated ethnic hatred. And I saw people reacting, saying that this post, now that was something that is religious, why was this part there? Now, there is something that the bishop spoke about, and it is going to help us as we move towards this analysis. He's saying, the local community led by Bishop Joseph Kamau Mariko of KG Wansigishu and well-wishers have been planning to rebuild the sanctuary despite serious opposition from politicians blamed for the barbaric act that left a permanent scar not only on survivors but the Kenyan nation as a whole. What KG Church are saying, that politicians who are blamed for that barbaric act have been opposing the rebuilding of that church. This is what Oscar Sudi was speaking yesterday, when he was saying that there are politicians, and according to him, he was blaming Murathe, that there were politicians that were behind the project to rebuild that church. The question here is, why do you think they are opposing rebuilding Kiamba Church? Let's listen to Oscar Sudi. I like sometimes doing this analysis with a lot of evidence because there's a very contentious issue. Let's listen to Oscar Sudi addressing the crowd in Eldoret when he was talking about the issue of Kiamba. Really struck my mind was the fact that now Oscar Sudi really brought this conversation to the light. And this is something because the Kiamba is in Kapseret, that is his constituency. That is his constituency. So the question that I want us to look at critically here is the two factors that are constant in this aspect, in this issue of Kiamba. One, there could be a likelihood that what Tuju and George Nyanja were discussing 6 months ago was actually hatched. And there will be that some deep pockets are behind this project. But because the project had started, and then they realized that it's facing some opposition from the resident community there, they wanted to attract the public attention, and maybe money will be injected there, but who knows? It is very easy to say it was maybe then the contribution from the public, or the contribution will be an avenue of other people to sneak money in, or rather to contribute directly to that project. But the question that I want to ask, because when you mention Kiamba, things that come to mind is post-election violence, ICC, the charges that William Ruto is facing, because that is what Bishop Joseph Kamau Mariko is talking about, who is the resident bishop of KG Wasingishu. The question, ladies and gentlemen, and I want us to face it critically, can this Kiamba issue, what will be the implication of the Kiamba church rebuilding on political rhetorics in this country, or political campaigns as we get towards the 2017, the 2000 August 9th general election? And where do you think it is happening now? That is what Oscar Sudi was asking, that if you genuinely want to build the church, why now? Why not in 2013 and not in 2017? Number one, when we mention about the issue of building Kiamba Church, it's going to deflect what Rigathi Gachagua was saying the other day in Tharaka Nithi, that for the first time the church have a candidate of their own in the name of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. So when you build this as a monument, when you build this Kiamba Church and it becomes a monument. In fact, for me, I once visited Rusinga Island, the monument of Tom Mboya, and I can tell you that just around that place, there are many small NGOs that are getting funds from abroad, just doing concepts around Tom Mboya. And if not, the Oscar Sudis will be just a little bit, I don't want to say clever, but aggressive enough. They would have had made sure that they invest around in the Kiamba Church so that it become a big institution. It's something that people can never actually travel abroad to come and see that Kiamba Church. And with that, NGOs can really sprout around that place. I realized that in Rusinga, around Tom Mboya, many NGOs, fellas, even youths are running small NGOs there, as people who are still in colleges are owning NGOs and running projects. If you look at how they're getting the finances, the funding, they're getting funding from abroad and all stemming from the issue of the Tom Mboya. So this one will be a very good cut for them. And that was just a side note. Then, when this is going to put that narrative of William Ruto as a church candidate on the spot, because, they will parade the media there. Just think about going to launch it, and it gets the media coverage, gets the media attention. Then, the person that is normally blamed or was directly, and this is, according to some reports that there is the leaders from Rift Valley. So that would mean it would actually question the William Ruto's dalliance with the church. And that is why this is something that is there. Number two, when you build this church and the monument is erected there, it is going to be a constant reminder, and let's not use a constant, but it will now be an instant reminder to the natives staying in Eldoret about what happened in 2007. So this is going to provoke emotions. Now, when it provokes emotions, then what Oscar Sudi was addressing there is likely to happen. There is something that he mentioned, and he said that sisi wenye tunaishi hapa, we don't want to see people moving out of this place during general election. We don't want to see a Luo going to Nyanza because he fears of violence. We don't want to see a Kisi going to other places. Now, that is what he was saying. And there is a credit that I give to Oscar Sudi many times. When he speaks in Rift Valley, even though he is very vulgar, but he will always speak about unity in Eldoret town. Although that unity call is kind of very selfless because he talks about Rift Valley. Sisi wenye tunaishi hapa Rift Valley, bonde la ufa. But he talks about unity. Now, in any case, this is built to provoke emotions. Non-natives that are in Eldoret might feel threatened, or they might, it will trigger and they can even move out of that place. What that will bring is low voter turnout because there are some voters that registered there that will not vote in Eldoret. That is something that is there. And that is why Oscar Sudi is telling them, be on the alert. Number 4, I think Kiamba is once bring that narrative, and for DP Ruto, how Ruto and Raila paths once crossed and they are once together. So that is something that is, when you mention Kiamba, it binds all these three fellas together. But then, I think on William Ruto's side, it will be a campaign tool for him because when they were brought together, what brought them together with Uhuru was ICC. And Kiamba is an element of the ICC. So they will run with the narrative and say, you know what? They've started reviving these issues of ICC because now they've built this church here. ICC can come and start now collecting evidence just around this church, and these cases can be revived. This is politics. So just with that, William Ruto team can find a way they sneak in the emotive ICC issue, and that will be a political tool as we get towards 2017, as we get towards general election. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my analysis on that church. And I just want to read your comments, very honest opinions on what will be the merit of that church. Personally, I've given my own merit on these issues about NGOs arising around that place just because of it. But then, in your own understanding, in the political space, what do you think that church will push to DP Ruto and Raila Odinga?